We've got some brand new developments I want to bring you in the case of the white woman who for years has portrayed herself as a black woman. Her name is Rachel Dolezal. She's the president of the Spokane, Washington NAACP chapter, at least until very, very recently, meaning this is breaking news. She has decided to step down. I want to bring in our correspondent, Stephanie Elam, who's live on the phone with us right now. So how did this news become available to us? Has she released this? Has she got more to say about this issue?
Well, yeah, she's making it clear, and most everything that they've been saying is, since I've been here in Spokane, they've been pretty quiet. Dolezal has not been talking to people publicly. All statements have been coming through their Facebook page, and this is another case of that below, where basically she's making the case that this has become a bigger issue around the world about her identity and how she identifies herself, and less about the things that need to be focused on here. So she's saying she is removing herself from that conversation because of this unexpected firestorm, as she put it. But there were people here over the weekend who were supportive of her, and then you also saw over the weekend that things began to change when there was a scheduled meeting for tonight, and it was canceled over the weekend. Then it became clear that one of the members of the local chapter here was not okay with that, and sent her a letter saying that we can't just arbitrarily cancel a meeting. So it was clear that there were things that were changing here, and not everyone was not on the same page.
All right, I'm actually just looking at this statement that you were just referring to. I've just had it handed to me, and I just want to read a little bit of it if I can. It says, "Dear Executive Committee and NAACP members, this is a statement from Rachel Dolezal. It is a true honor to serve in the racial and social justice movement here in Spokane and across the nation. Many issues face us now that drive at the theme of urgency. Police brutality, biased curriculum in schools, economic disenfranchisement, health inequalities or inequities, and a lack of pro-justice political representation." She goes on to say, "And yet the dialogue has unexpectedly shifted internationally to my personal identity in the context of defining race and ethnicity. I have waited in deference while others express their feelings, beliefs, confusions, and even conclusions absent the full story." Stephanie, this quote continues, and I'll continue in a moment, but I want to stop right at absent the full story. Is she giving the full story? Is she answering the big question? We've seen the quote where we've seen the clip where a reporter asks her point blank, "Are you African American?" And she says, "I don't understand the question," and walks away. What is the full story?
That is the billion-dollar question at this point, because these questions have not been directly answered, right? Even in this statement, it's still not clear where she stands on this to explain what's going on with the family, and there's no doubt about it. There's interesting family dynamics happening here among all of the Dolezals. But still, even in this letter, she does not address that. And at the end of it, she makes it also very clear that she's going to continue fighting for human rights. And she says that it's about moving the cause of human rights and the black liberation movement along the continuum from resistance to chattel slavery to abolition to defiance of Jim Crow, to the building of Black Wall Street, to the civil rights and black power movement, to Black Lives Matter. So she's still talking about the issues that have been at the forefront of what her career has been built on. That seems to not be changing, but the actual question about her racial identity, and it's a question that, quite frankly, it sparked so many interesting conversations, not just here in Spokane, because I've heard people, I've been here all weekend, I've listened to people just walking around. They're talking about it here, but they're talking about it around the world, because there's a lot of people who feel like you can't just walk in and decide to adopt what it means to be black instead of living that life story. And that is why this conversation continues to come up, and that's why people care.
So let me read a few more excerpts, and like I said, I'm getting this at the same time and trying to sort of go through it quickly. But these stanzas stood out. "It is with complete allegiance to the cause of racial and social justice and the NAACP that I step aside from the presidency and pass the baton to my vice president." She goes on to say, "Please know that I will never stop fighting for human rights and will do everything in my power to help and assist, whether it means stepping up or stepping down, because this is not about me, it's about justice. This is not me quitting. This is a continuum," as Stephanie just reported. I want to bring in Joey and Midwin again on this. You know, this is